Hey everyone, so I just want to talk about a topic about what it means to be a human. Being human, what does it mean to you? Like, define it as your own perspective and your opinions. I think to me is that being human is about being kind, you know, um, showing love and physical expression and communication, who you communicate with, especially your families, your friends. I was going through a lot. Like, I wasn't happy. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it hurts that, my family has been putting me down and judged bad qualities of me and characteristics. I think that, being humans, that we go through a lot, it sucks. I seen people where they argue in public places in their phones, you see people talking. It's sad, it's a real world. I think that this generation is changing a lot now, especially the pandemic. It kind of like made me realize being kind and grateful for things you have, especially, you know. Being humans, it's like there's constant questions that you face, and there's just like choices and your own decisions, that you take in the role in life. Things might go through things that are not good, but there's things that can lead to the good destination of success. And how do you define success? And I think that some people think that money buys them happiness. It doesn't, because even you have money doesn't mean that you're gonna be happy. Like, do you have a happy life? Like, are your friends gonna be there for you? Like, these are the questions. It's kind of sad. So yeah, we were born with natural flaws by our parents, genetics too, and this is a really broad topic of about being a human, because it's showing about kindness. It's about like how you talk to people and how do you perceive others. Especially like nowadays, people judge people nowadays, what they wear and how they look, genders especially. Being human, it's about our middle ages and then how we grow and how we change the tone of voice, how we speak. Especially the tone's really important when you talk, because if you talk to people like nicely, they'll approach you back. And you're really aggressive, impatient, then people are not gonna be nice to you. So yeah, and think about how it affects people in different ways when you say things, especially like how you talk to someone, especially, and know the traits. And I think that humanity is that, we sometimes suffer a lot. Being human, we suffer to get to a better place. So yeah. um I know that in many generation has changed in many lives, especially like your parents might have a way how to perceive you, especially, and then one day you might have a kid that's born, and that gives them a human life, because your kids are gonna explore what it means to be human and how to interact with other people. So interactions are really important. And then let's talk about social media, especially like social media, how we interact. It's kind of different, diverse world, because I feel like people are more active talking online, but when you guys meet in person, it's so different, right? When you meet in public places, because I think that some people are just quiet. They just feel afraid, not ready to talk to someone they meet online. Especially, I would say catfishing is the worst thing ever, because you get rejection. Some are not really good. I don't really recommend it, catfishing someone. If you're gonna talk to someone, it might not be real who they are. They might use someone's profile and catfish. So yeah, we look at symbols, we look at how we feel. Our feelings can be like, I'm happy for a day, I'm sad, I'm down. These are the questions we ask about ourselves, about what it means to be a human. So I think that, being human, it's about having a great heart, having great knowledge, having the right resources, helping someone or a friend or a family. But yeah, I just want to say this because this is really important and it means a lot to me. Um, yeah. And then I feel like, if you're a human, have a great heart, like, support animals. If you like dogs, like, be a kind person. Maybe you want to do adoptions. Yeah. So there's a lot of things I have to say about being human, because there's a lot. It's really huge topic. Especially living the life, the way how you want it to be, especially. Like, you might have dreams of success that you want to meet, but if it doesn't meet that requirement, then what's your next step? You want to go with another plan B and then plan C if that doesn't work out, So you want to have a backup plan if your life is not changing around, especially, Think of the outcomes, think direct logic, There's so much to explore online. I think that in being human, you can learn about other people's cultures too, and embrace in a way how you can relate to certain people that talk about inspired stories. There's so many things online. There's inspiring quotes, and there's YouTube's people that talk about, you know, humanity life, about being humans. Yeah. Um, so yeah, what else can I say? And the way how we think in our mind too is how we feel the good energy vibe, like, I'm thinking back of my childhood life, for example, or I'm thinking about the past, things that carry on with the traits in your culture and family. So yeah. Um, Especially how you feel like you belong to a certain group of people. Like, do you belong with your other friends, or you feel rejected? So yeah, I think that God supports human. I feel like even humans are ghosts too. Because when they pass away, their lives are being buried, and the spirits is in their soul. So yeah. Um, some people don't believe in ghosts, but for me, I do. I worked at the place before because I felt something talking to me, like a spirit. It's just trying to say hi. It's not trying to mess with me. It's just trying to say, hey, like, I'm here. It happens in this real world. Like, I think the spiritual is really important in how you, especially our energies too. It just depends who you surround yourself with, humans, because if you surround the right people, then you have the good bondage of friendships, and you guys talk more. I feel like being human, it's hard because we don't know how to talk to people, like strangers sometimes. Like, you feel awkward when they don't talk to you, and then you're just like, I don't know what to do. That's comes into, like, your body tells you, damn, like, I don't feel, like talking to that person because that person's not talking to me. That's your mind. Your body knows how to reject that. Your body tells you naturally, like, it sends it to your brain, like, I don't know what I think about this person. Like, is he or she a good person? That's how we question ourselves. Our brain tells us signals. It's like kind of like wireless in our mind. Yeah. So yeah. Especially being human is that you need to know how to get along with your workers, because interacting is really important. Being human, showing kindness, especially at work, it's really more like professional, and talking to your managers, especially. Yeah. What else can I say? And you could also define human in dictionary and how it means to be one. There's so many of us, like, especially the community. It's a part of a human too. Humans means to me is like, there's so many, like, people that in this world that we go through a lot of things. I can relate to certain things. You can relate to other things too, what people have. I feel like it can be like a small world too. You might bump into someone that you know, or someone you don't know, or look familiar. It's crazy. I can talk about identities, for example, about humans, that, humans can be born like twins, that, when you have a sibling that looks alike with like a person, or someone you think that it's like, oh, you look like my friend, like, that's crazy, right? Because you communicate because you feel like you look at their images of their face, because you think that's the person. Maybe that's your friend, maybe that's not. So yeah. Being human to me is showing communications, showing friendship, showing love, showing affections. It's hard to be one, I'm not gonna lie. I know how I felt being one, because I feel like people judge me for who I am. I wasn't happy for who I am. Especially, like, my family judged me a lot. But you can look at things and change that, and see how you perceive others, especially. I would say this generation is getting hard every year, especially. It's hard to make friends nowadays because people don't relate to certain things, like same interests or same activities that you guys do. Yeah. I just want to talk about this because it's really important. And what else can I talk about? Let's talk about the history about being human. Way back then, we didn't know how the we didn't know how the Earth was born, how all these humans came to Earth, down to Earth, and many lives were, born, males and females. So that's like kind of like crazy, right? That's like chemistry right there. If you ask yourself these kind of questions, those questions I would find hard to answer. I'm not gonna lie. Like, how did humans came to the Earth? And these are questions that we ask ourselves. So yeah. And it could be like philosophy studies too, especially. I don't like philosophy because I'm not good at philosophy, but I wish I could explain it, but I'm not gonna explain, so I'm not gonna go to that information about philosophy. Yeah. Um, how does it resonate it with you being human? These are questions, you can ask yourself what it means to be a human. But yeah, so I would like to hear from you guys down in my YouTube comments. Please like and subscribe, and thank you. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope this helps you understand better what it means to be human nowadays.